Hey, welcome back. Back working on this door again. This is the door off the 79 Datsun 620. If you haven't seen the previous videos where I did the rust repairs and the metal work, I'll link those down below. But in this video, we're going to start getting this ready for paint. And so a couple things I gotta do is I gotta get these edges primed and sealed. I'm going to throw some seam sealer on here. We got some work to do on the back side of the door to where we did some welding. And then we might even get this thing in primer. So stay tuned. If you haven't seen the previous videos, this is the 79 Datsun 620 King Cab. Sorry, I got the lift arms up here. I was doing a little work there, but essentially I've done a bunch of rust repairs on this. When I got this truck, it was non-running. The engine was locked up. It was in sad shape. It had been sitting for a long time. And so I'm going for a ratty build here. You can see there's surface rust here. My goal really is just to cut out all the major rust. We're gonna leave the surface rust. We might do some touch-ups here and there, but that's kind of the look I'm going for. The work I'm doing on the other door is to try to match the overall look of the truck. And so I'm not gonna do a complete paint job on that door. I'm gonna try to keep some of the surface rust and kind of blend it in to make it look like it matches the rest of the truck. That other door, I'll link some pictures from what it looked like before, but essentially it had rust spots down here and here. Got those repaired, sealed up some of these mirror holes, and let's get back on that other door. First thing we're gonna do here is we're gonna seal up all of these bare metal spots back here, and then we'll get some seam sealer over all the joints. What I use for this is zero rust. This is direct to metal. You can coat rust, it seals rust, it stops rust from growing, and so on. It's very similar to Pour 15, does the same thing. I'll put a link to this down below, but I use this all over the place. It seems to work very well. Let's get this bare metal covered up. I already have some coats on this. This is what all this is when I was doing the work before, so I just gotta dust it over these other spots. I'm almost out of this, so I'm just trying to make it last here through these last little bits. Okay, while we're waiting for this to dry out here, I went ahead and put some seam sealer on all of the welded edges on the inside. Hopefully you can see that. Try to get that down in there. Got that down there. And then I got it down in the corners here. That's where we did the welding on those previous weld repairs. So if there are pinholes back there, it will rust behind there under the primer, and then you'll start to get bubbles on the front side. So important to seal those up if you're not 100% sure that there are no pinholes. And in this case, there probably could be some, so I took care of that. I'm gonna start taping right here, and then we're gonna seal these edges with the same seam sealer all the way across here and down through here. So let's get that taken care of. Okay, got this masked up all the way across here and then backside here. Let me mask that up real quick, and then we're just gonna throw some seam sealer in these edges. All right, got that section masked up real quick. Here's how it looks. Got that tape off there. Pretty clean lines. I had to fill in a spot right here, so that's why it's a little messy there, and I'll take this off here in a second. But cool, we're gonna give this a bit, let this dry. Okay, did a little bit more work off camera, just the boring stuff. Got it masked up, getting this thing ready to prime. Nothing fancy, just protecting the top half where I don't want to paint or prime. I got this thing degreased with this wax and grease remover. We should be good to go. So let's go get the rest of this system set up, get the air set up, get the gun set up, and then we'll get mixing some paint. Be back when that's ready. All right, well, here is my primer gun. Nothing fancy at all. Finish line by DeVilbiss. It is a 1.8 tip. So it works pretty well for primer. I only use primer in this gun, so it works pretty good. I mean, Harbor Freight or something like that probably work just as good. It's just a cheaper gun just for spraying your primer, so. Okay, got my adjustable pressure regulator on there. This is something cheap I just bought off of Amazon. I'll link this as well, but want to get this set up. You want to be able to dial in the air pressure right here nice and easy. So that's why I got this guy. We're gonna need a chuck on there, so let's get that. Okay, chuck is on, and I added this air dryer here. So I run 2 air dryers. I got one right after the air compressor, and then through the line to this. This is kind of like a last chance air dryer. All right, first things first, before we get the paint all squared away, I want to get this air pressure dialed in. So I got this set to about 23 to 25 as a baseline. So that's pretty good. We don't want to be futzing with the air too much, you know, once we got the paint in the gun. So we'll get that set up first. That's looking good. Got the primer here. This is a epoxy primer. Direct to metal, and then we've got the activator here. Acetone to the cleanup, but let's get this mixed up. Probably do, let's see, about 6 ounces to start with. We can always mix some more, but that's what I'm gonna go for. Hopefully we can get 2 coats out of that, but we'll start with that. Okay, so I'll be back once I get that mixed up. Okay, we got that mixed up. We're gonna let it sit in here for about 30 minutes. The guide for this says if the temperature is above 70 degrees, we let this sit for 30 minutes. If it's below 70 degrees, we wait for an hour. So right now it's about 80 degrees, you can see over there. So we'll let this sit for 30 minutes and then we'll get spraying. Okay, it's been 30 minutes. Let's go get that door sprayed. So once you get the first coat on, you can kind of see how good or bad you did with the metalwork. So, and I think I got the overall shape right. Yeah, there's definitely some highs, there's some lows for sure, but I think the overall shape is pretty good. You can kind of see, I don't know how much you can see, but in the reflection, but you can definitely see the patch in here and also in here, but we should be well in the range of some filler, I think. And to be honest, for this ratty look, even where it's at right now, I'm okay with. But I'll still try to take it to the next level. Again, I know I've said this in a couple of videos now, but this definitely doesn't have to be perfect. It is a rat build, so, you know, we're just doing the best we can, and that's good enough. We're gonna let this flash off for 5-10 minutes, and then we'll go again with a second coat. Looks like we still got enough to do a coat, maybe a coat and a half, we'll see. Okay, I did 3 coats total on this, and this is kind of what it's looking like. We're gonna let this cure for at least 24 hours before we come back and do anything else. But overall, I'm pleased with this. This should provide good adhesion directly to the metal. And then we'll just come over this with some filler and take care of these low spots that we've got here and there. It's really hard to see. Maybe from a profile view you'll be able to see, but I think overall we got the shape nailed down. Now there is a ton of dents and high spots and all of that in here. Fully realize that. Not a problem. In this case, in this build, not worried about it at all. This is just gonna be a quick and easy paint job. All right, well, I think I'm gonna wrap this one up here on the priming and touch-ups on this door. On the next video, I'll start working on the filler and sanding work. That can get a little bit tedious, but it probably makes sense to make another video just for that. So thank you for watching and stay tuned. We'll see you next time.